about now, you are listening to the Legacy and Leadership Podcast, a show where we discuss living as a leader worth following, leading others to do the same, and in doing so, leaving a legacy for future generations. My name is Jimmy Gonzalez Jr., a learning and development professional and leadership coach, sitting down with my co-host Anthony Devon Watts Jr., an expert contact center leader that has effectively led and developed dynamic teams with high motivation. Together, we have over 30 years experience in the corporate game. Join us as we discuss our growth as leaders, share the lessons we've learned, and interview others to see how their leadership style was shaped as they were mentored by adversity.
Guess who's back? Yes. Welcome back, Legacy Leaders. This is your co-host, Jimmy Gonzalez Jr., along with my homeboy, my good friend and co-host, Anthony Devon Watts Jr.
Yo, we bike. We are
yes,
bike.
That we are. Really, we just wanted to communicate with our folks out there and give you guys an idea on what we've been up to over the last few weeks since we last recorded the last episode, which was, I think, episode 22 of season 1. There's been a lot of activity going on over the month of December. We've been in the lab kind of cooking some things up and putting in different type of work to continue to give and add value to our legacy leadership community. So again, we want to talk about that. And also, guys, let you guys know kind of what to expect as we get into season 2 of the Legacy in Leadership podcast. But real quick, how you doing this evening, man?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm doing really, really well. I think I shared with you, I decided to take off some time from work so I can focus on work, as I was telling the missus, right, with what we're building out here with the with season 2. And kind of what we have on the docket. I'm not going to give any spoilers just yet, seeing as we're going to be talking about that extensively in our first episode for season 2, which is aptly titled "More Than a Pod." So you guys will have some hints of what's to come, man. But yeah, man, it was the best decision I made, man. It's really allowed me to be able to get organized on some of the things that we've been building, put some final touches on some things, dedicate some of my hours and kind of my mental resources to the content that we have to create. And so, yeah, man, I'm really feeling like it was earlier today or something like that when, we initially were exchanging some notes and, both just kind of getting some work done, that I kind of left the office. I was like, man, like I'm feeling the momentum, man. I think that's the best way to say it. Like I'm feeling the momentum of kind of what we've laid out and what we've been building, man. So I'm super excited to share with our listeners about what we're building so that, we can continue to bring them along on this journey.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The excitement is definitely there. It's been good. I was still working my day job over the last couple of days, but some late nights and some early mornings I have off for the rest of the week. So I'm ready to continue to do some of that additional work that we've been putting in. But again, while we've been putting in some very specific work, and we'll get into some details about that later, this week, we've been putting in some work over the last few weeks as well. So if you are a loyal legacy leader and you've been rocking with us throughout season 1, if you haven't, that's okay. You can go back and take a look and really start to break down the episodes that we have in season 1. Go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Legacy and Leadership Podcast, and you can see all of the videos that we have for the episodes. As well as even clips. So we've added some additional content to that channel as well. So, but season 1 ended for us with a webinar that we did. And that was a Focus for Success webinar. It was the first, God willing, of many webinars that we'll be doing in the future. But it was really successful. We were definitely happy to be able to provide, again, some different type of content and provide in a different way to our community. On the heels of that webinar at the end of season 1, we actually started the Legacy Leadership community in Facebook. So if you're on the Facebook platform, definitely go to the Legacy and Leadership podcast and make sure you follow the page. But you could also, we definitely encourage you to go to the Legacy Leadership community, again, in Facebook. Ask to be a part of that community. There's a couple of questions for you to answer. Really easy. It's all free. Everything is harmless. But within that, we're providing some different type of content, some exclusive stuff that you may not be able to get on the podcast or through the YouTube channel. Or if you do, they will be the first folks to see some of that information and that content that we're putting out there. But on the heels of the webinar, we actually did a 21-day Focus for Success challenge with the folks that were in the community, which I know you and I just had a phenomenal time doing that, and felt like that was really successful, but also just gave us an opportunity to kind of even build some different type of relationships with our community. What do you think about that?
No, I would agree wholeheartedly, man. We got to really start to engage and get to know people on a personal level. 21 days seem fitting because, they say it takes 21 days in order to create a habit. And especially as we're heading into 2021, we want to carry over this momentum that we've built at the end of the year to really hit 2021, full steam ahead, hitting the ground running, whether you are an aspiring or established entrepreneur or, leader in, corporate America, business owner, coach, whatever it is, right? We want to help you we wanted to help you hone your focus and start the process of establishing some goals so that you can really dominate in 2021. And man, what started off as, again, a webinar where I think we had maybe about 20 or something people sign up and maybe 9 people attend for our very first webinar, which was definitely something that we were thankful for every single person that took the time out of their day to just sit there and invest in themselves and make their growth and development a priority. But what started off as kind of a seed of 9 people attending a webinar ended up blossoming into this challenge where we have just under 100 people in the community, in the Legacy Leader community, and getting to know them by name and the things that are strengths, the things that are opportunities, the level of transparency, the level of accountability that we've been able to really hone and foster, man. It was just super, super rewarding. So I was super excited and thankful. I think thankful is probably the better word. I was really thankful for the opportunity to take a break from the podcast production and really invest in kind of nurturing what we've started to build with this community. And I'm excited to see how that continues to bear fruit in 2021. Now that we're getting season 2 started. And I think a lot of the things we learned over those 21 days and just from that experience, whether it was refining our process or refining our business, refining our vision, and then more importantly, building those meaningful relationships with this Legacy Leader community is really going to inform a lot of the things that we have on the docket in 2021 and, what we're going to be tackling in season 2, man. So I think it was one of the best decisions that we made, and I'm super excited about the fruits.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing that community continue to grow. Again, so if you're listening, if you're watching, go to Facebook, Legacy Leadership Community. Again, ask to be a part of the community and, again, get some exclusive content, be a part of some of these challenges that we're doing as well as we continue to go through the rest of 2021. So super excited about that. Again, it was a different experience and something that we both enjoyed and definitely feel like the people that were involved enjoyed it as well. Some of the other things that we wanted to discuss to let you guys know, this is not season 2. This is just a trailer. We just want to break down again what we've been up to and what you can expect for season 2. Episode 1, season 2, More Than a Pod, will be dropping next week, which is going to be January 6th. As always, on Wednesday. We are sticking to our normal cadence, and you can always expect, again, for the foreseeable future, to be able to hear a new episode from us every Wednesday, hot, fresh, and coming at you. So, I wanted to just give them a little bit of what they can expect in season 2 as we move forward with More Than a Pod and Legacy Leadership Learning Group. So what are some of the topics and things that people can expect from us as we get into season 2, Devon?
Sure. So, gosh, it kind of runs the gamut, right? And I think a lot of it, like I said, was really informed by some of the things we've learned through the 21 Day Focus Challenge and just really listening to our community on like what things do they value, what things do they need guidance on, what things do they want to have a conversation about and hear our perspective on. So, we have everything from, resiliency and the importance of resiliency and grit to realistic goal setting and refining that a bit further to what is the value of traditional education in the workplace nowadays? I know that that's been a topic of discussion for a couple of folks, and how has things shifted in terms of the value assessment that recruiters and organizations place or make when they're examining somebody's experience versus their education, traditional forms of education, and maybe even some non-traditional forms of education. And so we'll be touching on that as well. And again, like I said, man, we just got a whole docket of really, really content focused on helping our legacy leader community learn more about themselves as a leader so that they can refine themselves as a leader, so they can continue to lead, so they continue to, live and then also create a legacy for generations to come. So.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. While obviously we're looking to expand the topics that we discuss and the things that we'll be breaking down, um, the goal is still the same. Our goal is to be able to help our folks out there in our community, again, really define and work on what does it mean to be a leader worth following. How do you develop other people to do the same, and then in doing so, leaving a legacy for future generations. So as far as the podcast is concerned and everything that we're doing, again, it all revolves around that premise: live, lead, and then leave a legacy. So be on the lookout for that, because again, we're going to be keep bringing you guys the hotness, as we like to call it, and dropping those golden nuggets. You'll know them when you hear them, but definitely keep us honest, because we want to take it to the next level, and again, continue to provide a lot of great value for you guys. So to celebrate the beginning of season 2, we're actually going to be giving away some free content. Not just any content, but as I said, we'll get into more detail within episode 1. But just know that besides the podcast and some of the things that we're doing within the legacy leadership community on Facebook, we're going to be creating some courses, and we have some ebooks and things of that nature that we are, again, in the lab cooking up and putting together. We've even started to receive some additional help. So we actually have a new member of the team. Very excited about that. So we like to call him Ricardo Bernias, who is another very good friend of ours. And somebody who has really been part of the team since day one, has been part of the team before this was a legacy leadership team itself. But we're super excited to have him on board with us, a talented instructional designer, among other things. If you've heard any of our green room conversations and actually the new legacy leadership track that we have, that is my man spitting some lyrics for us. So again, multi-talented in a lot of different ways, just like my man Devon is as well. So excited to have Rico on board. But to celebrate season 2, we're going to be giving away $150 worth of content. We have a Focus for Success e-learning course that we're creating. It's really a bundle. So there's the Focus for Success ebook. We have a diffusing distraction video course, as well as a productivity secrets and some other things that we're, again, bundling in there. Again, about $150 worth of value. We're going to be raffling that off to 4 lucky legacy leader members of our community. So how can our folks get involved in that raffle, Devon?
Very, very, very simple for our community to get involved. First requirement in order to ride this ride is you must be subscribed to the YouTube channel. So if you are not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please make sure that you get that done. Again, it's youtube.com/Legacy and Leadership Podcast. Again, all one word, no underscores, no nothing like that. Just youtube.com/Legacy and Leadership Podcast. And make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you also hit the alert bell so that you can be notified of when we're dropping new hotness. Because again, while we will still keep to our Wednesday drop schedule, don't be surprised if you catch clips and other bonus material throughout the week as well. And so you want to be alerted to that as that's coming out. And then secondly, is you will follow the link in the description for this video, and it will take you to a landing page where you can give your name and then provide your email address, right? Your email address, and then that is all it takes in order to enter the raffle. Again, we're going to be raffling off to 4 lucky recipients, lucky participants, the entire bundle. And I think the timing of it is just so appropriate. Again, we got a lot of really positive responses and feedback from the things that we did with the Focus for Success webinar and our legacy leader communities, and those that participated directly in the challenge, and also those that participated on the periphery as well. And as you look to really tackling 2021, taking all the things that you've learned about yourself, that you've learned about your passions, and the risks that you've taken in coming out of 2020 and in 2020 to really pursue what you're passionate about. Again, whether you are starting your own business or trying to grow within the corporate space, or again, maybe you're a coach or something of that nature. What this e-learning course has to offer is the perfect foundation to start building on in 2021, right? When we're talking about ways to drive a heightened focus, we're talking about hacks for productivity, how to become more productive, how do you maximize your time. You guys have heard us say it before. We'll continue to stress it again, not because it's a theory, but because we've seen it practice over and over again, and we've experienced it ourselves. If you can master your minutes, you can master millions. And so the things that we're going to be offering through this e-learning course are tips to help you do exactly that: how to master your minutes, how to refine your focus, and how to properly define your goals. All of those things are essentially essential for setting up a good foundation for 2021. So if those interest you, this is your opportunity to get it, and to get it for free. And all it costs you is support, right? That's all it costs, is the cost of admission. Subscribe to the YouTube page, go to the landing, and then provide your email address, and then we will conduct the raffle and get in contact with our lucky winners.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we will put the directions in the show notes in the description, so you'll have everything you need to participate and be involved in the giveaway that we're going to be doing, again, to celebrate the launch of season 2, More Than a Pod. So expect better topics, next level topics, and also which we want you guys to really be thinking about and expect has to do with our MBA series, our Mentored by Adversity. Again, if you've been following us, that is a part of the podcast where we bring on a third party, a leader within the community. We've had pastors, we've had judges, we've had entrepreneurs and business folks, and career coaches that were all a part of that particular series. So when it comes to that, a little bit more specifically, what are some things that our folks can expect when it comes to our Mentored by Adversity series in 2021?
Yeah, so obviously for us, that's one of our favorite segments to actually do in the pod, because it just gives us an opportunity to connect with other established professionals and thought leaders in their respective spaces and hear their journey, hear how they've learned from adversity, and incorporate those things in our lives personally as leaders, but also bringing that to our larger legacy leader community. And so what our listeners can anticipate for season 2 is us continue to build on that and build on that momentum that we've created, which means getting other folks from different industries, getting more focus on specific topics, right? I know we've talked a little bit about mental health, and we would love to bring on a mental health professional, especially coming out of the trauma for folks that was 2020 and the adversity that folks had to deal with. We've all had to deal with in our respective lives. Being able to equip ourselves with some of those learnings to heal and start building in 2021. And so, yeah, that's what our community can expect. Again, more guests from different industries, established guests in their industries, a little bit more specialization and expertise in certain areas that we haven't been able to touch on yet with some of the MBA guests. I'll put this out in the universe just a little bit too, but would love to have the opportunity to host more than one MBA guest, some past guests, to maybe do a little bit of a thought leadership roundtable. All right, and so I know Jimmy and I have had some discussions about that. This is my form of accountability. I'm sharing it on the trailer so that we can pursue it. We say, you say it, you build it, and then it will come. But I would love to have some of these thought leaders all together, so we can kind of talk through some of the things, maybe some current events type stuff that's going on, and get their perspective as well. So yeah, that's what our community can anticipate, man.
Awesome. So there you have it, legacy leaders. We have been rocking the hashtag legacy leaders all of season 1. We will continue to do that. Yes, my man got it on his sleeve if you're watching the video. But as we continue to move forward, again, more than a pod, hashtag more than a pod, you'll start to see that as well. Hopefully you'll be using it in your communications as you continue to share the love and, again, the hotness, which is the Legacy and Leadership Podcast. So remember, you can follow us on Instagram at Legacy Leadership. You can follow us on Twitter at the same handle. Legacy and Leadership Podcast on YouTube, Legacy and Leadership Podcast on Facebook. Also go to the Legacy Leadership community. You don't want to miss out, again, on exclusive and kind of before, right off the press, before it gets to the larger community, things that we're going to be putting out there, challenges that will be, again, facilitated within there as well. The 21-day challenge that we just finished up, we're putting that as a complete unit. So if you missed out, it's great. You can still be a part of the community on Facebook and go through that yourself and still ask questions and get support along the way. So much there. Again, follow us also on our LinkedIn page. We're at about 300 folks that are following us within LinkedIn, and again, sharing in these conversations with the Legacy Leadership community on that platform. So we're everywhere you want to be. Again, all major podcast platforms for you, for our Legacy Leadership community. Again, we just thank you for all of the love, for all the support that we were able to get within the first season. I don't think we necessarily expected this and what it's become, but we are very happy, again, very grateful, very blessed for where we're at right now, and are definitely looking forward to bigger and better in 2021. You may say, well, that might not be too hard with everything that has gone on this past year. But again, we're very grateful, very blessed for how things have worked out, and we're just looking to continue to add value to our folks out there. So stay tuned. Again, episode 1 of season 2, More Than a Pod, the Legacy Leadership Podcast, will be dropping next Wednesday, January 6, 2021. Until then, I hope that everybody has just a wonderful weekend. Happy New Year. Be safe. Continue to stay healthy. And again, until next time, God bless and stay encouraged.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
You have just listened to the Legacy and Leadership Podcast, hosted by Jimmy Gonzalez and Devon Watts. Thank you, and we hope that you live, lead, and leave a legacy worth remembering. Until next time.